Is your favorite part of Fallout New Vegas the White Glove Society quest? Is Silence of the Lambs your favorite movie? Are you into Vore? If you said yes to any of my inquiries, you may or may not need help, but also I have the perfect character for you to play as in Streets of Rogue. How Yinz doing? I'm an Ian, and this is the Streets of Rogue character guide to the Cannibal.
I'll savor you! Extra virgin.
The Cannibal is unlocked via killing 20 NPCs on a single level. And trust me, killing 20 NPCs on a single level is a lot easier than you think. It's so easy, in fact, that the Cannibal, according to Steam achievements at least, is the third most commonly unlocked character, right behind the Jock and Gorilla. As for your backstory, it reads, the result of inbreeding toxic sludge and internet videos of animals being kept in tiny cramped cages before being turned into fast food. The Cannibal finds it morally unjustifiable to eat animal meat. It's just so tasty, and there's only so much tofu one can take before they snap. Fun fact, human meat is apparently very sweet tasting. As for your starting allocations, your melee attribute is set to an acceptable above average of 3, with the rest of your starting attributes being set to an average of 2, making the Cannibal a decent all-rounder in terms of raw stats. As for your starting gear, you have an axe and 5 bear traps. The axe is an above-average melee weapon for something you start out the gate with, whilst the bear traps are, well, traps, as the name implies, that when sprung do some decent damage and inflict a slow debuff on whoever got hit by them. In regards to your traits, you start with antisocial, meaning you'll need to visit an augmentation booth if you wish to have followers whatsoever. One might think that using a friend phone can help you bypass this trait since it allows you to exceed the normal follower cap of 1 even if you don't have traits like team building expert. But I have personally tested this theory, and to be honest, it doesn't work. This item will be completely useless to you until you can remove this trait, so if you don't have any intentions of doing so at an augmentation booth, if you find any friend phones, pawn them off at the first Cellomatic you see. You're also still going to want to visit the augmentation booths if you have any intentions of doing business with shopkeepers in this game whatsoever. This is because you have the suspicious trait, just like the previously covered thief, which means that shopkeepers will sooner ask you to leave than sell you anything. The only real exception to this is when shopkeepers end up having optional missions appear over their heads, in which case then they will sell to you regardless of your affiliation or character class. The last officially covered trait you have is Strict Cannibal, and unlike the other traits you have, it cannot be removed at an augmentation booth. This trait makes it so that any food items in the game, such as ham sandwiches, bacon cheeseburgers, and bananas, are completely useless to you beyond having something to sell to a Cellomatic. You can, however, still heal yourself through alcoholic beverages such as beer and whiskey, or through using non-edible forms of healing such as medkits. You also have 2 secret traits in-game that, while not necessarily shown in Character Select or in the augmentation booths when you decide to swap out your traits, are still in effect regardless. The first is a secret allying with Cannibals trait, which makes it so that other cannibals on a floor will be allied to you instead of hostile. The second secret trait is a hidden rivalry with you and the soldier classes, something that in the warfare disaster you might have already seen in full swing. Suffice to say that soldiers that show up through floor generation will be hostile to you and grant you bonus XP for killing. And if you're worried about taking damage from guys with machine guns trying to kill you all the time, don't worry, you have one of the best forms of healing in the entire game, the Cannibalize special ability. The Cannibalize special ability is a very easy ability to understand. All you have to do is walk up to any dead NPC and start nomming on their corpse. This will heal you. The amount you'll heal for depends on the state of the corpse you're eating. A regular NPC corpse, for instance, will heal you for 2 HP per bite until you eat them too much and the corpse will explode and become inedible going forward. A cooked corpse, however, will heal you for 4. A cooked corpse is caused by any NPC who was killed by a fire, such as anyone you killed with a flamethrower, or any corpse you set on fire after killing, such as people you cook with a flamethrower after killing. And if you're wondering about zombie disasters, don't worry, you can still eat zombie corpses, they just heal for only 1 HP per bite instead of the normal 2. This ability makes the Cannibal one of the most popular characters to use in multiplayer, since, in multiplayer, players tend to hoard all the healing items before other people can pick them up, and you'll need to have some sort of alternative form of healing, since you'll never be able to keep yourself topped off otherwise. You'll find yourself ill-equipped to deal with the chaos other players are creating, since typically in multiplayer games, in my experience, there's always going to be at least one player who is hellbent on causing as much destruction as physically possible on the floor before moving through the elevator. Please bear in mind, however, that NPCs become annoyed with you if they see you eating a corpse, so make sure that no one sees you doing that if you intend to go for an election victory, because while God did say love thy neighbor, he didn't mean that in the same context as how I love KFC's fries. On a similar note, please bear in mind that vegans are not considered vegan dietary options. I know, it disappointed me to find out too. And if for some bizarre reason you believe playing the Cannibal character in a video game meant that eating people was an optional thing you could do, you're not gonna like your big quest. Your big quest is called Acquired Taste. In this quest, you must find and eat an NPC of a specific kind that will be specified in the upper right corner of the map menu. While normally the cannibal is not capable of ingesting carrion when at full HP, if the carrion in question is of the specified NPC type to complete your big quest, they will eat it regardless of your health total. In layman's terms, you don't need to hurt yourself in order to eat a corpse in order to complete this quest whatsoever. Better still, if any floor starts with a zombie outbreak disaster going on in it, you'll have this quest become auto-completed upon your entry. Please keep in mind there are often multiple NPCs of the required NPC type on any given floor, so it may be wise to not kill the first NPC of the required type, especially if they are near a police station. Because despite my arguments of how solving world hunger can be solved by killing and eating people in that order, both of those things are still illegal. So it is advised to shop around, as it were, for multiple culinary candidates as you go about this quest. Once you have found a sufficiently isolated sample of soon-to-be carrion for your big quest, please be advised, you need the body to be intact in order to eat it, so avoid using explosives or crit boosting abilities since you don't want to have your killing blow liquefy your dinner plans. If you manage to complete this quest once you reach the mayor's village, you will be able to eat bodies faster, heal more from eating them, and folks won't get annoyed when they see you eating their acquaintances anymore. All in all, I give the Cannibal a murder hobo out of 10. If you want to kill everyone and go crazy, then the Cannibal might be the perfect character for you. However, if you intend to go about playing this game through methods that don't involve killing literally everyone on the screen as soon as possible, you may want to consider other characters. That's all for now though. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you don't want to miss the next one, comment what characters you want to see me cover in the future. I've been Ian, you have been you, and this has been the Streets of Rogue character guide to the Cannibal. And stay tuned, the cop is coming up next.